Hello people, welcome to another Geometry Dash video. Today, I'm going to be trying the Tower 22. This is harder than the Gust Needle. This will be the hardest level I've done by far. It's also rated unlike a lot of the other platformer levels. I've seen some other YouTubers beat this, and the level definitely is not easy. If you could believe it. A lot of mini spikes used here. I do enjoy the wraparound jumps though, like this one. They're satisfying to pull off. And I know the strat here is hit that, then jump down and get the checkpoint. I'm gonna see how hard that section is though, because I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that or not. Oh, that's why. Because of this input, you have to do that. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that strat. That jump though, oh my. Is that the way you're actually supposed to go there? To here, to that spike gap. That seems really difficult. I don't think there's really any other way though. You could actually get up there, kind of. Can you consistently do that? I guess you kind of can. You can't fall down on that spike. Huh. It looks like you can, but you can't. It's actually just small enough, so you can kind of just do that, and that makes that. You can just wiggle on very close to that spike and jump from there. Okay. What's that? What's the deal with this dash orb? This is not making sense to me. Oh, we gotta do that? Yeah, like that. Oh my. Then you also have to click that thing, I think. You click the little square thing mid-air while you're doing this. Okay. Kind of got the hang of it now that I understand what I'm supposed to do. Okay. So then we have these jumps. Okay, wow, that input is ridiculous. This is a crazy wraparound. This whole section of spike jumps right here is so difficult, but I gotta get consistent at it. So especially annoying since it's like at the very end of the checkpoint. This is like some really precise things. You have also this jump. Bam. Okay, this area I've known about, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this area, but seeing that it seems like many hard platformers are utilizing gimmicks or UFOs kind of stuff, I think I'm going to have to get good at this sort of thing, which is another reason why I picked the tower rather than just another needle platformer. But we'll see if I end up following through with this, because maybe it just won't be fun. I don't know. Now, this section specifically of this infinite jump thing is just all cycle sort of things, which basically makes it just a bullet hell. Good thing is that you have a checkpoint right nearby, so it's probably not that bad, I guess. At least this beginning section. This is just something I'm gonna have to put a whole lot of practice into, because this is like a whole nother skill set, like this section right here. Well, that's something you could do. You can just grab it and then go back down. Not super useful, but I don't know, maybe I'll use it. I'll have plenty of room to experiment with things like that, thanks to the checkpoint being so close by. It's the part after this that'll be the real struggle, likely. This seems to have some pretty good cycles here, where there's a clear path forward. At least for this first section. I don't know about this section though. Let's see what the hitboxes look like on this. Oh, I see how the infinite jump thing is done. Just a huge orb. Is there any way I can squeeze through there? I don't think there is. I just have to figure out how to go through it. Put a checkpoint there. Just to try and experiment with this thing. This is a very tough cycle, it seems. A very tough assortment of objects. Okay. If I can just fit in between one of those tight areas, I can just kind of lead it to the top. Like that. Just how do you enter it? This is just confusing, dude. Okay. I think I might just have to eyeball this one because there's just way too much going on here. What is even this? It just looks completely random. I'm not gonna be able to find a pattern in all this madness. Just a collection of objects that are spinning around randomly. This section. This is where the real pain comes in for this checkpoint. Because this is after all that madness. And we got some precise UFO, basically, platforming. It does make me question why they didn't just use a UFO instead of this, like, orb thing. Just landing here is difficult. I don't know if you necessarily want to land there anyway, though. I assume you do. Just to get some rest, maybe, I don't know. I see how you do that, okay. Can you kind of just... No, you can't, you gotta do that. I was thinking if you could just levitate, kind of, just like a jetpack and align yourself perfectly, but you can't do that. The spikes are just a little too close on the ceiling there. Funny thing is, although this section is really hard, I do kind of prefer this compared to the jetpack. The jetpack just feels so weird and floaty, especially with like how slow you fall and all that sort of thing. And compare that to the UFO and this basically, which, although it's kind of awkward having just one jump height, which is the problem with most of the game modes in platformer mode, the UFO just feels a lot more responsive. Okay, I'm gonna place a checkpoint here to try and figure out these things. Oh boy, that is not a lot of room to adjust there. Okay, actually you can do it there. I see, never mind. What you need to do is, like, you can't just move fully out of the spikes, you need to, like, adjust here. You can't really... No, That's like an in-between spike jump right there, and it's just in a different form. You have to... I think you have to one-tap this in order to, like, actually make it, so... That's tough. What is this, dude? What is this? What are those spikes? So you can land there. Wow. What does this do for me? Okay. Okay, that's a start. That is being able to actually make it over through that gap is actually really good. Okay, I'm getting a lot more consistent with that area, with the squeezing between the spikes. Okay, so you can easily do this diagonal like you would any other. But this... What? Oh, that's probably not consistent though. Because with the hitboxes, that's a lot tighter to land in on the corner of a spike with... Well, I thought it was a lot tighter, but apparently I'm doing it consistently. Is that the way to do this? Alright. This is the last checkpoint here. And then we have those like same corner jumps, except you have to actually, make them legit, like as the actual robot. So that's fun. Everything's getting harder now. Man, the amount of precision you feel when you actually make these jumps, though, kind of makes it learning them worth it. One thing to note, since I want to be the guy is no longer Extreme Demon, if I end up beating this will be my first extreme platformer, so that'll be interesting. That is, if it stays that way. So we have this upside down section with the blue orb after those incredibly precise jumps. We also got some long jumps to the corners. Then we have another blue orb. Oh man, that's confusing. This level is going to be teaching me a whole lot of new skills when it comes to platformer. Okay, so now we have this red orb section. Oh man, what am I supposed to do here? This is quite puzzling, honestly. There's just so many spikes. Look at all of them. Do I have to avoid all those? Okay. So the first red upper you cannot stay at all on. The second one I can kind of just sit here. But you can't do that for the next one. And then you have the finale there where all this sounds cut out. I say sounds because it's not really actually just music. It's really just, as far as music goes, this is just a single tone. Now this, oh man, what an ending this is. Another one of these super precise corner jumps, except you have to do it from a bit of a long jump there. That is, that feels like a big choke point there. But that's the end of the level. 3 checkpoints, really hard. Definitely not ready to go from 0 at all, so probably just going to do another practice run. Oh, I was just about to say nice, and then that one little blue flame sniped me. It was aiming for me specifically. It was conscious, it grew a mind of its own, and it killed me on that attempt. And now I have to do it again. But I'll have to do this many times anyway, because this level is hard. Okay, I see. They kind of do chase you like that. But hey, did that whole section in one thing now. So that's good. I even made it to this first platform. Look at me go. Wow. What a gamer. I don't know. I'm so okay at platformer. Honestly, this section is actually kind of growing on me and kind of beginning to like it. Is it still brutally hard? Yes. Is it still kind of painful? Perhaps, but it's kind of satisfying to pull off, in all honesty. Oh man. That took a while to just get done once, man. I was thinking those corner jumps with the infinite jumps were consistent, but consistent has a whole different meaning when you actually have to go through something else that's hard and then do that part. Definitely not going to be able to do runs of this thing right now, so I'm just going to try and finish up the practice run. Okay, there we go. Got that end run sort of done. I think I'm gonna go for this. Yeah. This honestly seems quite satisfying. There are definitely things I'm going to need to learn for this level, but so far, day 1, not a bad experience. Just gotta learn it with, any level. But we'll see how that pans out as I continue to practice it. Hello people, it is day 2 of playing the Tower 22. I've done some more practice off camera, of course. I finished a bit of a run from like those hard corner jumps at the last checkpoint to the end, so that was pretty good. Also see that I've changed my robot to be the default one, and it does feel better. I know it's incredibly generic just using the default robot that everyone else is using, but it generally does feel better. It's what I'm gonna use from now on. I don't know, maybe I'll try to get the texture back or something to make it have a bit more of a unique design, because it's mainly that the box shape that really, I think, helps with being precise. I've also grown to know what I think my main complaint with this level is, and that being these fog particles all over the place. I'm not a fan of them. If it happens to spawn where there is gameplay, you just kind of have to just wait for an arbitrary amount of time before you can, see what you're doing again. It wouldn't be that bad if the visual obstructions were consistent or something, because I know that's a thing that some levels might want to do, but because it's just completely random, I'm not a fan of it. Something I have also done is I have completed the very first section of just going up to the trigger and grabbing the first checkpoint. So that's like half of the first part of this checkpoint or floor done. This is basically what the 2 runs are, from the dash orb here to the end of this checkpoint to the next checkpoint. And this dash orb does not feel the most consistent to me right now. Like, a lot of these parts still aren't consistent, but it is improved. Alright, so this checkpoint is, the infinite jump section, and I actually did get a continuation of my run from these, the spinny flame things to the spike corridors or squeeze. So that was a bit of a run extension I did. Okay, did that run again, and then immediately died to this, but not to the hard part. Alright, this section is probably the hardest in this whole infinite jumps thing. We have 2 tight gaps, and then we have this section, which I have actually found a better strat for, involving not doing hard corner jumps, but just, using the infinite jumps we have and just, jumping mid-air. I still like to land on that corner spike of the first one because it lets me line it up better. Now we have the last checkpoint here with the mini corner jumps, which are, still very difficult. I'm trying to get better at them, but hopefully consistency after these difficult jumps will be enough. Because, I don't know, this might actually end up being the hardest part of the level. Just these 2 jumps. And of course the one mini corner jump at the very end. Okay, so I did look at some other completions once again, and I actually saw that you don't actually have to do this particular mini spike jump. You can just go there, which is incredibly helpful because that's one less incredibly difficult input you have to do. It goes from like 4 of these mini spike corner jumps to just 3, which is in fact a lower number than 4, if you know how math works. So I think what I did was this part to the end, but I probably want to do that, be really consistent at it though, because those mini spike jumps, I don't know if they're going to become consistent really for me. I'm definitely a lot more used to these blue orb jumps than I was yesterday, which is good. That's a sign of improvement. If you do something a lot, you spend a lot of time on it, you're probably going to get better at it. So that's why it's good practice to spend a lot of time building skills rather than just consuming media. I'm very guilty of this myself, but no, it's still good advice. Oh my goodness, look how aggressive that fog is. Like, it's like a smoke grenade from Counter-Strike. I can't see anything. And it just spawns randomly. Let's roll the dice to see whether or not you get to see what you're doing. And if you don't get to see what you're doing, I guess you'll have to wait there for like 10 seconds. Like, why is that a thing? It's like my main problem with this level so far. The other problem probably being these mini corner spike jumps. But it's definitely a whole lot more balanced than the Gus Needle, which I definitely appreciate. Oh my goodness, it's a whole... I am platforming in a tower that is in the clouds. I guess that's kind of the point. The only mystery left is where the 22 came from. Oh man, I failed that last jump. That last mini spike jump so many times now. I think that might become a choke point. And as you know from the previous level, I am not a fan of choke points. Okay, I did that again. It's really hard though. I need to be able to do this consistently because it's not often that I'm going to be getting to this point in the final checkpoint. That's a good start though, doing it just again. Alright. I'm learning. I think every checkpoint's been done in basically 2 runs now, so that is a good start. But I think I am going to require more practice than just that. Because I think what you really need is be able to do that second half somewhat consistently and not have the majority of the attempts you have there be fails. So I guess that's what I'll try and work on. Okay, that was crazy. I was kind of doing these like mini corner jumps kind of semi-consistently. So perhaps it is possible to get good at these jumps. There is a potential there. Whenever I get to this last checkpoint, I'll definitely have plenty of practice with them though. Honestly, from what other YouTubers have said about this area, I was thinking I was not going to like the infinite jump mechanic, but I'm actually finding it really interesting to control. It has interesting strats and stuff that are fun to pull off. Alright, it is day 3 of the Tower 22. I'm feeling a lot better about this level now. Just gonna do another quick practice run through it though. I've actually gotten some more runs done. I've gotten a lot more consistent at this beginning part, which is, good. I'm thinking I might be able to do it today, but I'm not quite sure. I might try normal mode and see how far I can get. I think my 2 big complaints are still the same, just the fog. Or actually, that's probably my only complaint is the fog and stuff. Everything else on this level has seemed to be pretty fine. Because I've actually been getting better at those mini corner jumps. Meaning that they can kind of get consistent. It is indeed possible. So far, the biggest struggle in this level has been like the UFO part. Specifically, like the second half. I've been trying, but I haven't seemed to be really improving at getting more consistent with those things. Especially the last areas of that UFO part. It kind of feels like I'm almost ready to do this level, but not quite. So I might still try and give it a shot and see how long it takes. I'm sure if I spent many hours just playing through the level, I could probably do it. But I kind of don't want to do that. The first 2 ones on this first checkpoint, I just basically speedrun through, but not that one I've kind of struggled with. But this is the UFO part, the part I've kind of struggled with the most. specifically this section. Or like the ending of this section. Oh, and then the fog comes in to ruin the day. Okay, thank you. Oh, I just did the whole checkpoint, actually. That was one attempt. I did the checkpoint. Huh. You know what, on second thought, I think I might be doing this today. It's still gonna be a struggle, yes, but I am definitely capable. So I think I'm going to try and finish this practice run, do this sort of run for the end checkpoint, and then go from the start. Also, there was that one UFO strat I tried doing with the double tap from yesterday, but I found that that's kind of hard to do and unnecessary, but I haven't really found a replacement strat actually for it. So far, the most consistent thing seems to kind of just be like eyeballing it instead of trying to find a specific alignment. So, okay, that's an improved run at the end checkpoint. I think I'm going to attempt going normal mode. Alright, going from 0. Man, this is going to be an experience if I end up committing to this. When I first started playing this level back when it came out at the start of 2.2, I really thought like that this first wraparound spike jump was like impossible. And now, after just playing, well, actually, I don't know. I don't really know what changed exactly. I've just become determined to be good at platformer now. And now it's just like a minor inconvenience. It's crazy how you like improve at video games. So that's the first step down. So now we're at like the first true checkpoint, as opposed to the fake one at the start. Now that I'm actually playing through these first few beginning jumps a lot, this high jump to the pink orb feels quite awkward actually. I got close there. Did not take long to get close though. So that's a good start. The dash orb thing. I've not found a consistent strat for that dash orb. I kind of just do it and hope that I did it correctly. Maybe just trying to get it like a muscle memory thing. I died to that wraparound. That was unfortunate. Hopefully we'll get there again someday. Also, funny thing, this will probably have been like a few days ago by the time you're seeing this, but when I uploaded why can't I remember the name? Rusted Hollow. Or Hollow. I think they're pronounced the same actually. When I released that, there was like, within like minutes, there was like 5 or 6 comments on it. And I'm like, what? How did that happen? Which is very strange to me. It doesn't seem like it would be any sort of bot, and I don't think anyone would make that sort of thing either. Because they were actually, some of them were actually, you know, talking about the level in specific. So I'm kind of curious as to why that happened, because, you know, usually if you just upload a level to the servers, it'll get lost and not ever found again. Yet with that one, there was just like, almost like there was 5 people ready for the release or something. It's kind of strange. Hey, and that's gonna be in the completion because I just did that. And now we're at the infinite jumps part. So you all get to hear that peculiar occurrence in regards to my random level. And I guess it is, and it looks decent. I will say that, so maybe that's why somehow, no, that doesn't really make sense either. Who knows? Who knows why that occurred? If you do, leave a comment down below so you can stuff. Okay. Okay. From checkpoint I thought I was going to struggle with the most to checkpoint I do in 2 attempts. Okay then. I guess I overpracticed or something. No, that was a fluke. This is unexpected. Do you guys have any idea how unexpected this is? So now we're at the final checkpoint, the final stretch. I'm guessing something just clicked with me now, and now I understand how that UFO part works or something. I don't know. Definitely really helped, but I don't think I've really clicked with these mini spike jumps. They're still quite difficult. And you thought just regular corner spike jumps were bad. Now we introduce you them, but 50% smaller, 75% smaller, 75% smaller. Now you will suffer and have to do even more precise inputs. Formulating my thoughts on this level a bit more. Primary thing would still be the fog, but as I continue to try to do these mini corner spike jumps, maybe my secondary minor complaint would be them in specific. They feel very precise compared to everything else, kind of. I don't know. Well, I got to the section where it turns black and white, or rather when the foreground turns black and white, as if everything else isn't already that color. So the mini corner spike jump again, which honestly would be expected because they are very difficult compared to everything else, it seems. Again. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that that area is the choke point of this level. That final mini corner spike jump. It doesn't kill the level though. It's a minor complaint compared to how the gust needle was, where those 2 choke points were significantly harder to the point where everything else in the level and all the other choke points were basically free. This is still relatively balanced. Okay, another thing I'm kind of starting to realize now is how the camera is done. And I think I kind of understand what the camera's trying to do, trying to follow your movement through the tower. But sometimes it's kind of just confusing, and I kind of wish they took a more ecstatic sort of camera approach. Because sometimes it can be kind of distracting. It's like you look in some place, and then based on your actions, the camera suddenly moves, and then your eyes have to adjust to, like, where your character is now instead of... Hey, there we go. It's done. Tower 22 is complete. And because I probably overpracticed it, it took 18 minutes. Wow. So day 3 did not take that long, in fact. For technically first extreme complete. Is this extreme? I don't know. I think this is a good level though, overall. Just those 2 things. Maybe 3 things. The fog that can just occasionally blind you. Maybe the mini spike jumps are a bit of a difficulty spike. Maybe. Then finally the camera is kind of awkward. But other than that, it's a pretty good level, honestly. Commenters just dislike it because Robot, they used the best platformer game mode, so bad level. Apparently. I don't get it. Personally. That was the Tower 22. I can claim 10 diamonds. I got 10 minutes and 10 diamonds for beating that. So worth it. If you enjoyed, you can press the buttons. But other than that, goodbye.